On Monday, House Democrats passed $2,000 in direct payments, an increase from the $600 that was included in the COVID relief bill. But now, it has to go to the Senate. And because the Senate is controlled by Mitch McConnell and the GOP, usually good things like this go to die in the Senate. But Bernie Sanders has a plan. A plan to at least get this up for a vote. Doesn't mean it's going to pass, but we know now that Trump is at least claiming to support $2,000. The assumption is he wouldn't veto it if it went to his desk, but it's not going to go to his desk unless it passes the Senate. So what is Bernie's plan to get a vote in the Senate? Well, let me start here with this tweet saying 2/3 of the House voted to provide $2,000 in direct payments to the working class. Now it's the Senate's turn to do that. No excuses. Unless McConnell agrees to a vote on $2,000 relief checks, Congress will be spending New Year's Eve in the Capitol. So what does he mean by this? Well, his close advisor, Warren Gunnels, explains at noon tomorrow, meaning today, Tuesday, McConnell is expected to ask for unanimous consent to vote on the veto override of the $740 billion defense bill. Bernie will object until we get a vote on $2,000 direct payments. We can force the Senate to stay in session until the new year. This is no bluff. So because McConnell is pushing for unanimous consent to override Trump's veto on the defense bill, Bernie Sanders has the ability now to hold this up at least until New Year's, which throws a wrench especially into the Georgia runoff races where you have David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, who rather be campaigning and at least appearing to support direct payments for Americans, are now being forced to be in the Senate to either support or not support these $2,000. So a little more here from Politico. Under Senate rules, Sanders has the ability to keep the chamber in during the holiday week and likely mess with the campaign schedules of Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. Those two face January 5th runoff races for control of the Senate against Democrats Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, who are both campaigning on the $2,000 checks. A source close to Sanders said the Senate races were a factor in his decision, part of a bid to keep Perdue and Loeffler in D.C. and focus the campaign on their position regarding the $2,000 checks. So, as we've seen so far, Perdue, Loeffler do not support $2,000 checks. Ossoff and Warnock do. And guess what? The American people also support $2,000 in direct payments. So, this at the very least, even if it doesn't get through the Senate, and it likely will not pass the Senate because it is controlled by the GOP, at the very least, it may force a vote on this and get these two senators on the record to being against these $2,000 in direct payments, hurting their ability to win these races on January 5th. Now, Ed Markey has also joined Bernie Sanders here, saying, I'll be joining Bernie Sanders in blocking the defense bill until we get a vote on $2,000 in direct cash relief. That relief passed in the House today with 44 Republicans voting for it. Senate Republicans must do the same and get the American people the help they need. And a little more here from Daily Poster. This is from David Sirota. Though Sanders has always been dishonestly derided by critics as an unserious policymaker and tactician, this is his patented maneuver that he's pulled off over and over again. This time around, he's bolstered by a crop of younger House progressives who've been willing to both demand $2,000 checks and question the Pentagon budget. And his brinksmanship has already proved far more successful than anything Democratic leaders were willing to try, insofar as the Sanders-Hawley alliance helped create the political pressure for at least $600 checks rather than nothing. So if you can think back to mid-December, there was going to be no checks at all in the COVID relief bill. There was going to be no direct payments. And Sanders, working with Josh Hawley on the GOP side, were pushing for $1,200. Ultimately, it was brought down to $600. But it shows you that the work that Sanders has done so far has actually led to real results. And it could even go a little further, potentially leading to $2,000 checks as opposed to $600. Now, a little more here on how this could actually potentially get through. So it requires 60 votes in the Senate, of course, to be able to pass these $2,000 checks, which means it would require at least 12 Republicans to join with the chamber's 48 Democratic caucus members, assuming all Democratic members actually vote for it. But there has been a little movement on this from Republicans as Marco Rubio endorsed the checks on Monday night. So if you're already seeing some senators cave to the pressure here and supporting the $2,000 checks, Sanders pushing for this vote, essentially filibustering until there is a vote taken on these checks, it may actually result in these checks passing. Because do these senators really want to be on the record, especially when these Georgia runoffs are days away? Do they really want to be on the record against giving the American people $2,000 when all you got to do is look around the world and see every other government has helped people financially through this crisis, except largely for the American government really only relying on a one-time check of $1,200 at the beginning of the pandemic, and then, of course, unemployment. But $2,000 is really the bare minimum. As I've said before, it should be $2,000 monthly, retroactive to the beginning of the pandemic. So a one-time check of $2,000 is just the bare minimum. Now, Donald Trump got wind of this and appears to still be pushing $2,000. Now, as I said, if he actually cared enough to do the work to get it done, he would have already gotten it done. He could have used the leverage with the upcoming runoffs against Mitch McConnell to actually push him to support $2,000. Trump, of course, didn't put the work in because he doesn't actually care. So rhetorically, he's still going to be talking about this $2,000, and I think he would sign it if it went to his desk. But that said, he's playing backseat driver here and saying that to a response to Sanders filibustering for the $2,000 that he is supporting $2,000, not $600. So we will see if this is any added pressure to Republicans in the Senate to actually get them to support this. One last thing here. Great point made by Alex Koch here. Guess who's standing up for the poor and working class while trying to get the Democrats a Senate majority? Bernie, quote, he's not even a Democrat, Sanders. So this criticism, I guess, has been lobbied at Sanders over the course of his career. I don't really see this as a criticism. Being an independent senator, it means he actually had to work harder to get that seat as an independent. And it also means that he doesn't have to be aligned to any particular party. He's always aligned to the people and what is in the best interest of the people. So it's always been a benefit as I see it. But of course, he's been criticized by not being a part of the Democratic caucus. Meanwhile, here he is, not only fighting for $2,000 checks, doing more than any other senator, but also fighting more than any other senator to actually help the Democratic candidates in Georgia.